Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim Plus. Today we're featuring Yaholi by Elfie Myrtle. Let's check out the map. Here we are at Yaholi. We're near the Lady's Stone, Ilinalta's Deep, Half Moon Mill, the Falkreath Watchtower, Falkreath. Here's Helgen over here, Whiterun's over here, and here we are again at Yaholi. Now that we've had a map view, let's take a world space view. We're off of the shores of Lake Ilinalta, and there's Half Moon Mill. And if we move to the left, right behind all of those aspen trees, you'll find our featured home, Yaholi. And if we go further left, here's the island that houses the Lady's Stone. Let's go back and get a closer look at our featured home of the day, Yaholi. And here we are at the front of our new home. Look at that imposing dragon skull on top. There are some beautifully textured dark elf lanterns made by Elfie Myrtle. You can see right into the home because it's a no-load door home. There is a door there, I just left it open to show it off right from the beginning. First, we're going to check out some outdoor features and buildings, and check out the mountain view with the trees. It looks beautiful out here. Just in case you haven't made the connection yet, Yaholi stands for yet another home on Lake Ilinalta. Funny, Elfie Myrtle. Yaholi is her fourth home mod. Her first was Bandit Lair, her second was Peaceful Garden, and her third was Scholar's Retreat. I've covered all of her mods and I'll link them in the description. As for this mod, let's check out our first room. This room has an alchemy theme. There are butterflies flying around, tons of harvestable ingredients in these pots, and look, you can see out of the window and into the real world because it's a no-load door home. And check out this corner alchemy nook. It offers tons of health and stamina potions, cure disease potions that you can take. You have named storage for alchemical stores, poisons, restoratives, and buffs. You have a custom alchemy table that looks like a mortar and pestle. And check out this button. This is called the Winter Summer button, and when you activate it, it takes the walls away and it makes your room outdoors. And now your nook is free, and so are all of your plants and butterflies. I love that feature. And look at how far I'm able to back up without running into anything. This is one huge deck. Our next feature is one that's not real flashy, but it's necessary: a toilet. Sadly, there's no copy of the Lusty Argonian Maid to be found, but funny enough, the fast travel marker places you right by the toilet when you return home. Makes sense after a long day's travel. And now we're entering the bathhouse. I like how she separated the toilet from the bathhouse. There's a chest for storage, a wash basin, and a bathtub with a running water feature that you can turn on and off by activating this red knob on the Dwarven device. The tub has seating, and you have stairs to get in and out. And now I'm going to show you what these three buttons do. First, notice right now we can see out of these windows, but if we activate this top button, it adds curtains. And that gives us some extra privacy. But for me personally, I prefer it being able to see out of the windows, so I'm going to deactivate that. And now we're able to see out of the windows again. Now we're going to drop down and check out the bottom button. This turns on and off the lights. And the middle button is the Winter Summer option, and look at how awesome this looks in the open world space. Yes, it may be a little less private, but what a view. I'm really glad she gave us those options in the alchemy nook and the bathhouse. Now let's go check out the view of the lake from our back deck. And as you would expect, it looks awesome. Look at all of that green. There's a garden, plants covering the ground, and a huge juniper berry tree hovering over your dining table. Your garden has some spiky grass, creep cluster, and canis root to harvest, as well as some nightshade in that planter. We'll watch all of these roots on the ground to make sure we don't trip. And if we activate this invisible button on top of the ivy, we can sit on this ledge and enjoy our lakeside view. Check out the mountains, the trees, the deer bathing in the water, the mud crabs getting in the occasional fight with the bone wolves, you know, all of the finer things in life. And as we get up, we have a great view of those custom dark elf lanterns and the greenery. Next, notice that we have an awning over our smithing equipment in case we have bad weather. But today is a beautiful sunny day, and Elfie Myrtle has given us a button to deactivate the awning for such occasions. So that's great for players that want that option. We'll take a quick spin around to see what it looks like without the awning. And now we're going to go check out our smithing area. We'll start in this corner with our custom smelter. When you arrive, the fire will be turned off, but you can turn it on by activating the bellows beneath the smelter. There's your anvil, there's a bucket of water, there's your grindstone, and then we have a special table for crafting arrows. The button on the left side of the table just activates that light that's right next to it, and then you have 4 quivers that hold special arrows. What types of special arrows, you may ask? Well, let me show you. ElfieMyrtle devised a new system to craft arrows based on your archery skill instead of smithing. You'll need 2 ingredients to craft the new arrows, then leather strips and arrow rawlings. Then leather strips can be made from leather or leather strips. The arrow rawlings can be made with nearly any spare arrows you have. Then there are 4 levels you can reach. Levels 20 through 39 give you the ability to craft apprentice arrows. They all cause 20 damage and have a value of 10 septims. This gives more damage to all common arrows crafted here besides Daedric and Dragonbone. When you reach level 40 archery, you can craft journeyman arrows, which cause 40 damage and fetch 20 septims per arrow. If you can get to level 75 in archery, you're able to craft master level arrows. These arrows cause 60 base damage and can be sold for 50 septims per arrow. And again, even master level iron arrows can cause this type of damage and fetch these prices. And lastly, if you can make it to level 100 in archery, you can craft legendary arrows, causing 100 damage and selling for a steep cost of 100 septims per arrow. She really wanted to give the player a new way to play without having to grind smithing, and she wants you to play with whatever arrow kind you want, regardless of their damage. So if you'd rather shoot with a glass arrow than a Daedric arrow, you don't have to use Daedric anymore to get a better result. That seems like a pretty interesting system. Moving on, we have a mini archery target that acts as archery stores. That pile on the ground next to the table is furs and leathers. And there's a tanning rack, that makes sense. And in the corner you have a wood chopping block and woodcutter's axe for your firewood needs. And as we round the corner, we need to go to the side of the fence here. And we're going to head towards this shrine. Look at this pretty ground covering. And all of a sudden I'm craving donuts. And I know what you're saying, yeah, that's an everyday thing for me. But for whatever reason, right now I am really craving some donuts. Anyway, let's check out this shrine. Okay, to activate the shrine, you'll need to click the stone button. This brings up a bowl that represents the Shrine of Kynareth. When you get to this prayer mat, activate the bowl, and it gives you the Shrine of Kynareth's active effects, and puts you into this cool animation. Eventually, you'll start drinking out of the bowl, which also looks really neat, but ElfieMyrtle says that if your followers try to interact with this shrine, they may not get that animation. Just a heads up. But that is a beautiful sight, isn't it? Look at the lake in the background. I'm loving this place. As we head up the path back to the home, you'll see a clay deposit on the ground, and so that can help you build the other Hearthfire homes if you have the need to do that. And when we round this next corner, we're back to the beginning of the home where we started. There's that dragon skull again. Let's watch out for that as we enter the home. And again, this is a no load door home, so we can walk right in without a loading screen. How great is that? And look at this big, wide open space. And I want to show you this before I forget it. This is the Fountain of Unburden. This is in all of ElfieMyrtle's homes. This takes all of your crafting materials and sorts them in the crafting chest. And to the left is the General Store's sorting chest. General Stores is a requirement of this mod. As we turn around, the main feature I notice in this room is the fire pit. There is some rabbit meat and pheasant breast that you can harvest, and here's a cooking pot that you can use for your cooking needs, and that button activates and deactivates the fire. And then you've got 3 more buttons right by the door. Right now, curtains are blocking our windows, but if we hit this bottom button, the curtains go away and we can see into the world space. Pretty neat. But if you desire to be even more with nature, the middle button is our winter-summer button, and it really opens up the space. Check out all of that space that used to be covered up by a wall that's now open with windows. Complete upgrade in my book. You'll notice some great views, especially from the top floor. This last button toggles on and off the exterior lights. You can tell by watching the deck as I push the button. This little miniature barrel is a salt barrel. You have some leather strips and some pelts for the taking on that table. And speaking of this table, it's actually your workbench. So you can activate it and it works just like a workbench. Okay, you also have some chests for pelts and for bones. There's some firewood storage. And this bookcase is specifically meant for books about hunting, and it's called The Hunt. The shelf in the corner is named storage for maps, journals, and notes. And then you have some custom weapons racks on the wall, and these are just meant for bows. But look at the textures, isn't that neat? You have 8 of these altogether. And check out these custom couches and the wicker furniture. Very cool. Look at that beautiful ivy draping over the top floor. Look, there's Arvak's skull. You have a chest for bows that you don't want to display on your weapons racks. There's a window and you can see out to your alchemy area from here. There's named storage for weapons and armor. And now you have a follower's bedroom. This one's pretty basic. It's got a bed and an end table, a little window, and there's a picture of Lucien. So if you have him as a follower, I'm sure he'll be excited to see his self-portrait. Okay, our next bedroom is a follower's room too, and it's also themed. Any guesses on who it might be? You have 3 seconds. 2, 1. If you said Inigo, you're right. I bet you Febrith Darkstar will like this home for sure. Now we're re-entering the main living area, and I know I'm supposed to be headed left, but man, I am distracted by the beautiful views out of those large windows. Wow. Okay, let's refocus here. Let's check out this painting on the wall. It looks like it's of Half Moon Mill. That's appropriate. And then in this corner, you've got a window to the outside, a few weapons racks, and your arcane enchanter. This area has gemstone storage for ordinator users that use the Gem Dust perk. The Stone of Baron Zaya represents enchanting stores, and I hope you're as amazed as I am at this custom arcane enchanter. That's thebomb.com. And this next observation was given to me by Elfie Myrtle, who likes to put Easter eggs in each of her homes in the form of a Spriggan that you have to find. This home's Spriggan is here. Think you can find the others? Moving on, we have a hearthfire oven for your cooking needs. And now we've arrived at the kitchen. The barrel is potion stores. The tiny barrel behind the larger barrel is for salt storage. The bottom sack is for salts and ingredients, the sack above that is for flour, and after that you've got some butter you can take and a honey pot on top. Next you have another cooking pot, and that button controls the fire. Next to that you have a wash basin and the button controls the water. That food plate with the cheese is food stores. And below those items you can activate the left side for raw meat, the middle sections for dairy and vegetables, and the right section for baked goods. The barrels next to your kitchen counter are for Hunting Brew mead and Blackbriar mead. That about covers all of the features from the bottom level. Let's go upstairs and see what we can find. Before we break this floor down, let's take a spin around. And look at that view out of the windows from the top floor. I told you it was awesome. Starting with these chests in the corner, you have one for treasures and one that's general stores. You have a little table and some chairs. You have a scroll library in the corner. The bookshelf contains named storage for books and papers. There's the main light for this floor. To the left is a Shrine of Arkay. And next to that you have a unique item display. It displays Hircine's ring, the werewolf totem skull, the werewolf totem drum, and the werewolf totem bone wand. And if you're looking at that tiny window wondering if you can jump out, yes you can if you're in sneak mode. You have your very own warrior standing stone, there's a wardrobe, there's a chest for light armor, and a double bed for you and a follower to share. If you have a need for more than 3 follower beds, you can use the deck space with a mod like Campfire to place tents, or use Elfie Myrtle's other home, Peaceful Garden, which has space for 8. Now that I've shown you all of the home's features, it's time for final thoughts. Yaholi isn't just another home on Lake Ilinalta, even if the name tries to imply it. It's superb. This mod author went the extra mile, giving the home original textures, unique artwork, animations, and innovations like the winter-summer options. She included all expected cooking and crafting stations and even added some style. The views outside and even inside the home were spectacular. The arrow crafting system has me curious to try it. You can tell a lot of hard work, original thought, and skill were used while creating this home. I hope you enjoyed this one, and don't forget to endorse it if you did. This concludes our feature of Yaholi. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and leave a comment with your thoughts. To see more of my past tours, click the playlist on the top left. To see my future content, click the channel icon on the bottom left to subscribe. And to never miss an episode, click the bell icon to receive notifications of when I post. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.